Hey, what's up? It's your old pal, Mr. Cook, and we're finishing up the 8.1 to 8.3 review for the quiz on 8.1 to 8.3. We've already talked about the stuff in 8.1 and 8.2 and a little bit of the 8.3 stuff on that second video. So the only ones that we have left are number 7 and number 8, and these problems are found in 8.3. So if you need a little bit of additional help with your probability, check out that worksheet on 8.3. What we're going to need is some information on decks of cards, and then also how to add up dice. And dice have 6 sides, so just add up the different values and you get all these sums. If you need more tutorials on the different cards and all that kind of stuff, then you can find that information online very easily. They have videos that just talk about what's in a standard deck of cards. Just check that stuff out if you need some help. We're going to focus on the math part of this, which is just finding probabilities. So all probability can be described using one simple little fraction. Probability is equal to, so it's a fraction, so you have a number in the numerator, a number in the denominator. Probability is the number of desired outcomes over the total number of outcomes. It's always that fraction, every single time, okay? Just a fraction. And establishing that fraction is the important part. Like, look, you can reduce the fraction all you want, or write it as a decimal, or write it as a percentage. It doesn't matter. The key to this is setting up the initial fraction to solve this whole thing, okay? So let's, using this fraction that we have, desired outcomes over total outcomes, let's put together some of these probability fractions. Because that's all it is, just a ratio, just a simple little fraction. So we're going to do dice. So Joel rolls 2 fair dice at the same time. So that's going to be this information. Let me fold this a little bit so that it shows up pretty easily at the same time that we're working on this stuff. Okay, so here we go. The sum of dice. What's the probability that Joel rolls a sum that is even? So you look at all your sums, and we need the total number of desired outcomes. So the desired outcomes are the evens. So count up all the even sums. We got 1, the 2, and then the 4s, and then the 6s, the 8s are evens, the sums of 10, and the sums that add up to 12. So if you count those all up, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there are 18 evens. That's the number of desired outcomes. And then we have to put that over the total number of outcomes. So the total number of outcomes are all of the numbers that we have here. So we count them up. There's 6 here, 6 here, 6 here, 6 here, 6 here, 6 here. So for a grand total of 36. So 18 out of 36 is your probability. It can reduce after that because, 18 and 36 are both divisible by 18, so this turns into a half. But this is the important part, getting that initial fraction. So this is our probability. It's just a simple fraction, 1/2. What's the probability that he rolls a sum of 7? So how many 7s are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So 6. Out of how many total? So the total number of outcomes. So the desired number of outcomes is 6. The total number of outcomes is 36. So 6 over 36 would be your probability, and you can reduce that to 1/6. So that would be your answer for the second part of number 7. Okay, moving on to the next part, we have to deal with cards. Standard deck of playing cards. So let's go ahead and put that in here as well. Okay, so what's the probability of drawing a red card? So it doesn't really show up here because we don't have colors on it, but like the red cards are the hearts and then also the diamonds. So all of these are red cards, all of these are red cards. So if I add them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then 13 more here. 13 and 13 adds up to 26. So there's 26 desired cards, red cards, over how many total cards? So if you count all these up, it totals 52. So it'd be 26 cards out of 52. And that reduces down because 26 and 52 are both divisible by 26 to 1/2. Okay, but again, this is the important thing, the important probability fraction. The other part is just reducing it. What's the probability of getting an ace or a jack? Well, how many aces are there? There's 4 of those. How many jacks are there? That's the J's, so there's 4 of those. So that's a grand total of 8 cards that we want out of how many total cards? Again, there are 52 cards in the standard deck, And then this reduces down because they're both divisible by 4 to 2 over 13. Okay, now for the last couple of problems. What's the probability of drawing a red king? How many red kings are there? So these are all the red cards, and there are 2 kings that are red. So that's 2 total cards that we want, desired outcomes. Out of how many total outcomes? 52. So you reduce that down, and it goes to 1 over 26 for your answer. What's the probability of drawing a numbered card? So the ones that go from 2 to 10. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards. And then another 9, and another 9, and another 9. So 9 times 4 is 36. So there's 36 of those cards out of 52 total cards. And then that reduces down to, what would that be? 9 out of 13? Yeah, 9 out of 13. Okay, and then the last one. What's the probability of drawing a black face card? So these are all the black cards, the clubs, and then also the spades. The face cards are the ones that like have people on them, like the jacks, the queens, and the kings. So there's 3 of those here, 3 of those here, and these are the only ones that are black and also face cards. So that means that there's a total of 6 of those cards out of 52, and then that'll reduce down to, let's see, those are both divisible by 2, so 3 out of 26. And there's your, reduced probability. So you can see probability is like really easy if you, have access to this knowledge of cards and then also dice. So just make sure you are familiar with that stuff, and it makes it pretty easy. So all right, that's it for the quiz review, right? That's it, yeah. If you have some questions, just check out some other videos, or you can always send an email to your teacher or come in before school or after school. So that's it in preparation for your quiz. Good luck, and that's it. Hopefully the probabilities work in your favor.